Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another edition of the For the Fan podcast. As always, I'm Will. We got Colton, Jake, and Dom here. Gentlemen, hello.
Hello.
Yellow.
Another hot ass day in October, just like how October was meant to be. Not cold or, fall, just summer 3.750, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, week number 7 came and went. A lot of good games, a lot of good matchups. College had a great weekend, a slate of games. And, well, yeah, couldn't really ask for more.
College is dead to me, so as far as I'm concerned, just in case you're wondering.
Oh, when you're not, not cheating.
Yo, I'm still watching. Watch your mouth. Watch your tone, Jake. Did I say I'm not watching Michigan get embarrassed every week? It's the same shit and story. I don't want to hear it. I'm still watching. Don't you worry. I'm not a fraudulent fan. You try throwing the bait out. No, sir. I'm always watching these clowns. I even went and saw the awful Michigan Wolverines basketball team last year. The sacrificial lambs for Michigan football last season. I still went. Don't worry. Saw them get embarrassed by Rutgers. Don't worry. Sacrificial lambs, baby. Still got the tweet up. Anyway, sorry for the cutoff. Jake just got me aggravated about Michigan. So we shall continue on.
Hey, at least, the Terps came back from, double-digit deficit, beat USC at home.
Welcome to the Big Ten, Lincoln Riley. Freaking bum.
Yeah, we're still at the bottom of the Big Ten, despite being 4-3.
To go 1-4 in conference play so far.
Follow us if you haven't already on the social media platforms down below. YouTube for the Fan Network, TikTok for the Fan Network, Twitter and or X, however you want to call it. I may just call it X from going forward. Just too much of a mouthful. For the Fan _ and Instagram for the Fan Football. We got a lot of people here on TikTok right now. We'll answer your questions coming up at 5:30 Eastern time of your fantasy questions. We'll put that down there. Well, time's wrong, so we'll fix that as we go through on the little banner there. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. And you are listening to For the Fan.
You are listening to For the Fan.
And here we go. First topic already up there. I like that. DeAndre Hopkins traded to Kansas City for a conditional 2025 5th-round pick, which could turn into a 4th-round pick if he plays 60% of the snaps and or if the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl. Receiving core is banged up, as we know. Rashee Rice, Juju Smith-Schuster, and now they get DeAndre Hopkins, who's been dealing with a lower leg injury now for the better part of the season, torn MCL in his knee. So he's playing through it. He's going to go through it. But, gentlemen, a big body receiver now makes his way to Kansas City.
You knew they were going to get one eventually, whoever it was going to end up being.
And do we think a conditional 5th is kind of nuts? I feel like could have gotten more than a conditional 5th for him. But that's a no-brainer when you're the Chiefs. That's an absolute no-brainer. Every day you would make that trade. That's perfect. Good for them. Good for DHop, too.
Yeah, it's a good deal. We kind of all, like Jake said, we all knew they were going to get a receiver. It was just who was it? Deontay Johnson's been linked to them. Christian Kirk's another name. Cooper Kupp is another one that they were heavily involved with, but the problem is salary because the Chiefs are kind of broke. So it was kind of like whose contract's going to work out best for them, and it ended up being DeAndre Hopkins.
So now a big body guy goes into Kansas City with now Juju, who's out for week 8. He's not playing against the Raiders. How quickly can DeAndre Hopkins get up to speed with the playbook? Obviously, it's Patrick Mahomes, so he's going to just invite him over and just be like, hey, we're just going to watch tape all night long. They're going to get the playbook in 3 days. Be our number 1 target with how thin they are at wide receiver. So it is a good move for the Chiefs. I think I mentioned it when we talked about which player do we think will get traded by the trade deadline. And I think this one just made complete and just total sense. So it was good on them, good on the good on the Titans because now they get a little more draft capital now. And they also traded D'Ernest Jones for a 5th and I don't even know what else. Jerome Baker, a linebacker from the Seahawks. So whole lot of good going in there for the Titans, though. So
by the way, there's an opt-out on this contract. There's a potential out in his deal, so that's probably also why that he got dealt
I did see that.
very cheap.
Mm.
I saw that they had to sign him to an extension in order to get him traded because they don't want to pick up any of the extended money or whatever. They wanted the Titans to hold on to a lot of the cash. A very NHL trade if you watch hockey. So just the team keeping 75% of the salary, and then teams just only paying $8,000 for the rest of their contracts. But yeah,
That's why he won cheap. I mean, he's also not young. It's kind of also why he won cheap. We've seen how this works. Last minute getting like a decent player, receiver. They don't really go for a lot. It's how it works. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, the Rams are looking for a second-round pick. I don't think they're going to get a second-round pick for Cooper Kupp. I think it's going to end up being a third, most likely. It's just a big ask. It's the same thing. So we'll see what Mike Williams goes for. Christian Kirk's another name. So, again, it takes Cooper Kupp out of the Kansas City race, so we'll see where he ends up going. That's kind of the next big domino that has to fall in the wide receiver room, if that's exactly the case, if the Rams deal him.
and speaking of Cooper Kupp, let's bring that up here. So the Rams may honestly trade him before the November 5th trade deadline. With the Chiefs now gone, the Titans are allegedly linked. The Chargers are allegedly linked. The guy in the corner there who's secretly a Ravens fan, but he's showing off his Steelers gear. Steelers are secretly linked. But an all-pro receiver, which we know what he can do with the volume that Stafford gives him, but if he goes to any other system, he's not going to get that volume that Stafford feeds him every single play. And he is so good in that McVay system, which is just receiver-friendly. He's not going to be shifting into the slot like he does with the Rams. He's going to be playing outside, a little bit inside.
I would love nothing more, though, to see him go pair up with Herbert. That would be amazing.
That'd be kind of sick. And for him,
They're not going to do that. Let's be real.
No, they probably
Let's be real.
Yeah.
They won't do it. They're not going to do it because, again, same thing I was looking at as a Steeler fan is that he's going to be 32. He's not young. He's got injury history. They're not going to deal him in with the Chargers. They're not going to do that. The Chargers are built ready to win today. This is going to be a move that someone makes that's ready to go all in on this season. And that would be the Steelers, or a team that have been desperate for a receiver. They've been in on every damn possibly imagine that they've called on, starting in the offseason with Ayuk. They were definitely interested in Devontae Adams. He said the Steelers were one of the teams he wanted to go to that were on his list, but we all knew he wanted the Jets. Again, they were interested in DeAndre Hopkins, I would assume. And, again, every other name under the sun. So, again, Steelers are one. I don't know what the Buccaneers do. Again, we're going to talk about the Bucs in a little bit with their injuries. I just don't see the Chargers. I think the Chargers would rather draft guys and go from there as far as things go. Because, again, I don't know what the Chargers do. I don't know what Cooper Kupp does for them. They lose to Arizona, which I thought that was one of the easiest bets of the week was the Chargers. They were going to have a field day running the ball. And it's like, what the hell is Arizona? So I don't think the Chargers make a lot of sense. For me, I think Pittsburgh, again, Kansas City was one, but now they're completely off the list, I think. Buccaneers, I don't know who else comes to mind with the rest of you guys. I really don't. I mean, Dallas doesn't seem to – Jared doesn't seem to want to do anything in Dallas. So I truly have zero idea where Cooper Kupp goes. I would not be surprised if he stays.
My opinion this whole time is he doesn't go anywhere. I think also now Puka Nakua's voice kind of carries more, and he's basically like, I don't want to see him go anywhere. That's my dude. So my money is on he stays. Tampa's a good. I did not think about that until just now.
Yeah.
With their injuries, because I mean, they already said Evans is going to be. Well, we'll get to them, but Evans is going to be out till week 12, and Godwin's done for the year.
right now they're rocking Sterling and someone else. So
that's just why I thought of the Bucs as another team. Like, again, I agree with you. I think he's staying there. I think the Steelers make a lot of sense. I also don't think the Steelers are going to cop to the second-round pick that they're asking for. So unless they budge off of it and they come down to a third, if the Steelers are even willing to do that, I don't see him moving anywhere. I truly don't. As much as I'd love to see him in Pittsburgh, I also don't think the Steelers are going to do it. I think the Steelers are way too cheap. The fact that they didn't go out and get DeAndre Hopkins for that price, I don't know what Pittsburgh's waiting for. I don't know what they're doing. They're getting caught sleeping at the wheel again. Shocker. I just don't know. I just think Deontay Johnson's out there. I think Mike Williams is going to be a cheap offer. I think Christian Kirk's another guy. Like, I'm just trying to think what other teams are really receiver ready. I mean, the teams that have already gone out and made deals. Buffalo was one that came to mind. They went out and got Amari Cooper. Kansas City went out and got DeAndre Hopkins, like we just said. The Jets went out and got Devontae Adams. Like, I don't know what other teams outside the Bucks now with their injuries, what other teams are kind of like competing. I guess Atlanta, but like they're another team that confuses the living hell out of me. I don't know what Atlanta is now. Like this, I can't wait until we get to talk about a lot of these games that happened this week because it confused me more than ever this week. Honestly, I got to tell you, this week confused me more than anything else as far as what teams are and where I should rank teams. Because, again, if we did power rankings this week, I would throw my hands up and say, I don't know. I'm giving you top 10 and the rest can kick rocks. Because this week threw me off. I can tell you that.
I agree.
That's how I feel about power rankings every time. I want to do top 10. I want to do bottom 10. I don't care.
Like, this week threw me off. Like, and that's like same thing with these receivers that are left. Like, again, that's why I think Cooper Kupp's staying. Like, I don't think Pittsburgh's going to pay what the Rams are going to ask. I think the Rams could also be like, we got Cooper Kupp back, Nakua back in a few weeks. We win a game or two. Yeah, you don't know. So, again, I don't know what the hell the Rams are doing. I don't know what this week is. I don't know what other team needs a receiver. I have zero idea.
I mean, I will say the one team you didn't mention, but I don't think they're in on any of it. But the only reason I'm going to bring it up is because, the Patriots were in on the Ayuk thing pretty hard. But there's not been a talk about that.
Yeah, but Cooper Kupp makes zero sense for them. Ayuk makes a lot of sense if you're a younger team because Ayuk's young. You're giving him a big contract and go from there. Cooper Kupp's like an insert into a win now team. That's like maybe Baltimore could be a shot in the dark, which I'm not always surprised. They went big on Odell in the offseason last year. So, like, they could be a team, pair up with Zay Flowers and Isaiah Likely, and Mark Andrews seems to find the end zone now. Getting that tandem back together, so that could be a team that's sneaky in the dark, looking for a receiver. Like, I just don't know who else like that is like competing now. Like, the Vikings aren't going to do it. They have Addison and they have Jefferson. Green Bay, maybe. I don't know what Green Bay's cap situation looks like. Team up with Romeo Doubs and Reed. Because, again, they have a lot of young guys. You add an experienced guy like a Cooper Kupp into that? Okay, Green Bay. I see you.
They don't spend.
So
I know it's cheap.
So right now, Cooper Kupp's contract is this year at $29.78 million for the cap number. Next year in 2025, same one. 2026, 27.3. But he could get out with savings and not having to worry about stuff getting held against the cap. And then there's the other part here. If you look at it for next year, because obviously someone's gonna have to hold on to it. Chargers have $77 million in cap space right now, followed by the Steelers, who have $73 million. And then the Bucks right now have $28 million, and that's without Godwin, who's maybe played his last down as a Buccaneer. Who knows? Why not the Commanders? Why not the Commanders?
So, all right. So I was just going to read you the betting odds because the 33rd team posted the betting odds for teams right now. And it's the Steelers are the favorites. They're minus 125. Chargers are plus 400. I don't see that. With his age, I get that Justin Herbert's still a very good quarterback. Like, you add him in, you never know. They could sneak on the wild card with how bad the AFC is. Got it. Buccaneers plus 600. That could be the Chris Godwin replacement going forward, or if they're going to let him walk in free agency. The Lions plus 700. That's tasty. They're a competing team. Pair someone up with Amon-Ra because it looks like Williams might be getting suspended again because they just hate this kid for some reason and want to keep suspending this kid. Then the Commanders are plus 1,800. And Bills are 2,000, and so are the Saints. I think the Saints blow. Buffalo, interesting. Commanders is the one that is interesting here. They traded Jahan Dotson, young receiver, in the offseason to the Eagles. Didn't understand that one, drafting Jaden Daniels. They were all in on the Brandon Ayuk deal, trying to get him with his former man there with Ayuk and Daniels. Commanders are interesting. They're clearly looking like one of the better teams in the NFC. Looks like a team that's destined to make the playoffs. That would be interesting. Again, does a 32-year-old receiver going on 32 make sense for them? I don't know. Adds another weapon, sure as shit, to Jaden Daniels. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I
Be
really
interesting
don't
sledding
know.
ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Lions before you even read that, but then even then I was kind of like, I don't know how well he'd fit. You know, that's a tough one in there. It's got to be a really specific team. I think Baltimore is a solid option. I really think that works out for him and them. Like scheme wise, he's super specific scheme wise. It's not.
See, I think
stick him out on the
you
outside.
said no to the lines. I think the lines make a shit ton of sense because
Yeah.
McVay's system is run the ball, and you've seen Cooper Kupp and Nakua not afraid to get dirty in the run game, and I think they can use that living hell out of Cooper Kupp. And this team, that it looks like they're going to need their offense a lot more than ever now with Aiden Hutchinson going down. Again, their defense played well this past weekend. Against Minnesota. Again, a lot of points, but again, one of the hottest teams in football in Minnesota, they win. Their offense is going to be asked more than ever to put up points, and Cooper Kupp makes a lot of sense with that offense.
The team that makes
Again, do they pay up, though? That's the thing. Do they pay up?
The same reasons, though, is Baltimore.
Yeah.
They want to run the ball.
That's true.
They run all of their receivers out of a slot or a tight formation.
Mhm.
So you'd have two on either side with Flowers and Kupp, and then have Likely and Andrews on the line. Like it, I think that's a match made in heaven. And they go out and they make splashes. They like to do it.
We got two
Don't you find it
questions
weird that,
here.
Don't you find it weird that they're not on this list though? Like out of any of these teams? Again, not saying that they can't come out of the freaking woodwork and like, ha ha, here we are. Like it's weird that they are not even named on this list.
We got two questions here. One from Ethan. He goes, where will Cooper Kupp end up and will it benefit him? I think if he leaves LA, it's going to really crush a lot of value because he is that guy who can do a lot of these motions. He's running across the line. He's quick and he's getting those 3-yard routes where he can make 3 yards into 15, 20 and going on. So leaving the Rams is going to be a thing to see because we only know him as a Ram. We don't know him as any other player from any other team. So that's one thing. And then we have Anthony here who says, if Kupp leaves the Rams, does it make Puka's value skyrocket? And I think that's an absolute yes.
I genuinely don't think it does because I read that question. I thought about it for a sec. I genuinely don't think it does because I don't think it matters. Puka's value is as high as it is when Kupp is there, and when he's not there, he gets the ball, period, no matter what. I don't really think Kupp being there or not changes too much for Puka and the volume that Puka sees and the targets that I think it's kind of, if anything, Kupp might be like a decoy at times and work out for Puka in that situation. I don't think his value technically goes up. I think at face value, yeah, you're like, all right, cool, wide receiver one, like the other's not there, the other star's not there anymore, blah, blah, blah. I really don't think it makes a difference, honestly. Now teams don't have to guess as much. They can be like, yeah, we cover Puka, and that's what we do. Not we cover Puka and get burnt by the other dude. So I don't know about the value thing personally. I don't agree, but yeah.
I can say for certain it'll probably hurt Kupp's fantasy usage.
Oh, 100%. The reason Kupp is because of the system.
That scheme is very wide receiver fantasy point friendly.
Oh yeah, especially him.
And now that you have, O'Connell, who was the OC when the Rams won the Super Bowl, he goes into Minnesota, and now Justin Jefferson's even better than he was with Zimmer his rookie year, so it makes him even more valuable.
You know what? This is something I know because I've looked this up recently, and this reinforces Colton's Tampa Bay take too. The OC of Tampa Bay was the OC of the Rams when they won the Super Bowl with Stafford.
I think he was there the year after. O'Connell was the OC for the.
I don't think it's O'Connell. I don't think.
No, O'Connell was there. No, because Zimmer got fired in 2021 from the Vikings. O'Connell won the Super Bowl, and then he left to go be the OC of the head coach of the Vikings. Liam Cohen came in 2022. That's when the injury bug hit him, and they just imploded. And then he went back to Liam Cohen was University of Kentucky offensive quality control and quarterbacks coach, went to the Rams, then went back to Kentucky, then he went to Tampa Bay, and he's like, I shouldn't have ever gone back home. He's like,
All right,
once
so then,
you
yeah.
leave home, you stay there.
I was a year off then. There you go. That's fair. Valid. Thank you, Will.
Kevin O'Connell featured cut on the Jets Hard Knocks of 2010. Let's go over this injury roundup because there is a bunch of stuff. I don't even know where you guys want to start at. Let's start at the 1 o'clock hour where Deshaun Watson tried to make a quarterback design run, blew the Achilles out. He's done for the year. Third consecutive year where he's not playing, well, fourth consecutive year. He's not playing a full consecutive year of football. Now, the Browns have, I don't know, $70 million they got to pay him each year over the next 2 years. So I don't know if he's played his last snap, if anyone wants to take on that contract, if he's played his last snap. But Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who also got hurt that game, full participant in practice. Jameis Winston's the quarterback going forward for the Browns. Cooper Kupp officially back for the Rams for Thursday Night Football with TJ Hawkinson and Puka Nacua questionable with their practice windows open. Let's also talk about the Niners, who Debo played 4 snaps, left the game, went to the hospital, pneumonia-like symptoms. So who knows if he plays Sunday? And Brandon Ayuk, who took a devastating low hit, blowing out his ACL and MCL. He's done for the year. And then Chris Godwin and Mike Evans both got hurt. Mike Evans pulled up on a touchdown, which 9 times out of 10 these receivers would normally catch. But I don't know. He must have aggravated that thing really hard because he dropped that football and went right for the leg.
Yeah.
And then, well, Godwin ankle was completely his foot was facing the other way where it shouldn't have been facing. Maybe played his last snap as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Who knows? He also, tore his ACL with the Bucs. They ended up signing him for a long-term extension. So maybe this might be another thing. Jason Light is a genius when it comes to this stuff. So let's see if he can manage that through. Derek Carr resumed throwing, but Dennis Allen said Spencer Rattler is expected to start against the Chargers on Sunday. So, yeah, as someone that's a proud Alvin Kamara fantasy owner, I am scared to start him. Good thing I got David Montgomery right there behind him. Also, Andy Dalton was in a car accident yesterday with his family. They all went out unscathed, no injuries. But Bryce Young is going to be starting against the Denver Broncos in Denver on Sunday. Maybe the Bryce train comes back. He reignites. Who knows? But Bryce is now under center for the first time since week 2 this season. Jacoby Myers practiced despite his ankle injury. Let's see. Gonna scroll down more. Unless you want some hockey injuries, I got those in here from Elliot.
Will's whole
Gotta
Twitter injuries reports.
It's just injuries. I just keep on scrolling through.
That was bold of you to show your screen and scroll. Damn.
Well, I
Okay.
mean, it's just I just go through my notifications because I just have it all there, so it's just a one piled thing. Also, good news for the Seahawks. Abraham Lucas and George Fant's practice windows open up. The Seahawks offensive line has been abysmal, so now they have 2 pieces coming back, which now will help Geno Smith, the man that finds the end zone every time, Kenneth Walker, and the rest of the Seahawks offense. So a lot of good things going forward. And then the other big one, too. Jaden Daniels did not practice today despite his rib injury. And it might be trending towards a Marcus Mariota start on Sunday against the Bears per Ian Rappaport. So
I think that I'm smoke green because I know all the initial reports was it's like, yeah, he might not practice, but he's going to play.
one thing to look out for. So, and I think that's all the injury reports there, at least for what I have. So, yeah, that's all of them. All right, let's go. Let's talk about a little bit of quick debates here as I fix this one up. Which performance stood out to you from week number 7? I'll start out here. I'll start out with Brian Thomas, who, fell off the face of the earth in the first London game against the Bears, came back against the Patriots, really showed up with a nice 60-yard ball from Trevor Lawrence, touchdown and a 2-point conversion caught. He really looked good. And hey, might be the best receiver from this draft class. Who knows? At least this year.
Green Bay stood out to me. A big win for them over the Texans. Jordan Love turned the ball over a little bit. He's been a little turnover happy the last few weeks, but their defense looked really, really good. NFC North appears to have C.J. Stroud's number, by the way. He does not play well against the North so far. Green Bay's gotten his number instead of Minnesota. So shout out to Green Bay. That was probably the performance. Oh, and Steele Jakes. I already know he's going to go there. Saquon Barkley, welcome back to MetLife.
I was just going to say that he has more touchdowns than Daniel Jones, but no, he was not going to be mine because this is the second straight week where I have been heavily impressed. Maybe not in the best winning effort, but for Drake May. Those early drives, especially right up until the abysmal Polk drop, he looked really posed. That looked like an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, I've been kind of impressed by Drake. Not gonna lie, it's gone better than I thought it was gonna go. So that's cool. I thought you were gonna go this route. I'm honestly gonna say the Ravens, man. I mean, yeah, we expected them to play well. Like they've been playing well. It's been great. But like I think this week kind of cemented Super Bowl contender in there for the Ravens. Maybe the Super Bowl contender for the Ravens title right now. At least between them and like Detroit, both had statement games, I think, or at least games where it was like, yeah, they're that real.
Yeah.
So
Don and I were talking about this pre-show, like about being between Detroit and
the Ravens, really.
Baltimore.
Yeah,
they're really putting their stamp on this season so far.
Yeah, I think this past week was really shit more than anything. So
we all have a player or whatever that we watch across the league, and we're like, man, I really wish he wore my team's colors, or my team maybe should sign the guy because we're really desperate in that said position. Across your entire time watching sports, what is your favorite player who never wore your team's colors that you wish did?
My answer is so dumb.
Tom Brady.
No, my answer is a borderline meme answer myself. First thing that comes to my mind, you're gonna laugh.
If you're gonna say Bernard Pollard, I'm kicking you out of the
No,
throne.
hell, I wish that guy
Ray Lewis.
No, I wasn't even gonna go football related. I just think it's funny. Jake will laugh. You guys might not even know. I was gonna say Philip Forsberg because we only drafted him. The Capitals
he played for you guys in preseason. I don't know if that counts. He put a jersey on.
Okay, but he never played a regular season for the Capitals regular season game, and we traded him for some stupid trade.
That's one of the worst trades ever.
Yeah, and he's like such a cool dude. I wish I saw him actually play for us. Would have been cool. But yeah, I don't know. I need to think more on this question. But you asked that question, first thing that popped in my mind. So
I have one for if we're sticking to football. Patrick Willis. I love Patrick Willis. And if he was ever an Eagle, I would have had probably like at least three jerseys. I'll get them in different colors, and I'll be like, I'll have like Will's background with all his jerseys on the shelf. It'll be like 4 of them.
Multi-sport for me, it's going to go with baseball. Manny Machado, one of the best friggin' third basemen I've ever seen, especially growing up playing third base. I was like, dude, this guy's a stud. And clearly, since we're a football podcast, for me, it's Ray Lewis. God, it's the fact that the Steelers are so reliant on their inside linebackers with their defenses over the years. Ray Lewis. I think that's a very easy.
I have a good baseball one. Like, the player that I always was like, oh, I would love if he played for my team was always Bryce Harper. And then it actually happened. Like that was like the best day of my life. Like,
by the way, totally wrong on my thing on that. Because again, speaking of Bryce Harper, it was like one of those. Oh, the Yanks were in on him. Oh, and it was like, oh, the Giancarlo Stanton contract's holding that one up. Thank you, Giancarlo. Brought us to the World Series. Thank you. He forever has a free pass for me. That dude I used to shit on him every single day of the week during the regular season. John Carlson, he's got a free pass for life. He's got a free pass for life. You will never see me tweet ever a bad thing about John Carlson again. I don't care. Win or lose the World Series, he got it there. I don't care. Free pass.
The first player of a jersey I bought that wasn't a Jets jersey ignited the collection behind me, and I would have to say it's Vincent Jackson. When he was a Charger, he was really good, and then when he went to the Buccaneers, he was really good despite, the quarterback turnstile that he had, a Josh Freeman, and then Mike Lennon, and then Josh McCown was there despite having a 25-1 touchdown interception ratio. God bless his soul, but I wish he was a Jet. Used to always trade for him, and franchises. Ultimate Team would always have the Jets jersey on him. It was always a fun watch. So that's the one person I wish wore a Jets jersey.
I
But
will
hey, at least we
say,
had Greg Salas. I mean, yeah, who the fuck's that guy? And David Nelson too. Yeah, at least we had them over
I have
him.
one more good one if you guys have something.
I'll give my football one. It was probably always for me prime Julio Jones just kind of in general, because I watched his whole career, loved him. I watched him back when I came home from school. It was like about the time where NFL Network was showing the combine. It was his combine. And I was like watched the combine like kind of religiously just because I was like young and I was like, yeah, football cool. And I remember him doing the combine with a broken foot or whatever. I forget what it was. I know he had like a boot on or whatever. And his combine was still good. And the dude is an absolute beast monster, great receiver, really incredible. Would have always been unreal to see him like in the place of Randy for the Patriots. Would have been unreal. But yeah, that's someone I've always liked as much as anyone on one of my teams. So.
Yeah, so when Will said players who they own was not on a home team, one of the only ones I had, because I was fully convinced at one point this guy would play for our team, is Johnny Gaudreau. I always thought, and that he would come home at some point.
Fuck you, Chuck Fletcher.
Correct. You beat me to the words.
The man that killed the Flyers. God, hate him.
Damn, that was real.
It was real.
Signing players is hard.
Yeah,
trades are hard. Doing my job's hard.
Oh yeah, can't trade. Oh god, who was it? The Pigeon to the Red Wings, and we couldn't even get the trade through because like something weird happened.
No, just because he didn't try. He didn't try. His app didn't tell him the right thing to do.
The trade meter wasn't going off correctly for him. Alrighty, we're going to talk some fantasy football here. We're going to spend about maybe 20, 25 minutes talk about some stuff. I'm going to start from the bottom here.
Yeah.
So let's see. We have stories on Reddit. I sent Kyler Murray, Waddle, and Higgins. I gave up Devonta Smith and Hurts. My other wide receivers is Devontae Johnson. Not bad. Tua should be back this week. Should be.
No, he shouldn't be, but he might be.
I mean, that will bolster the entire offense, so all the Dolphins players, that will be a big boost. I don't mind that whatsoever.
I like the Higgins. The Higgins part, I think, is the best part. Well, you gave up Devonta Smith. I mean, that's tough. But I do like the Higgins part. I think the Higgins part is definitely the best part.
We got who to start this week? Chiefs D or Steelers D?
I think that's a low-hanging fruit, easy one. The Giants' offensive line's in shambles. I'll take the Steelers.
Yeah,
I would honestly take the Chiefs because I mean they did shut down the Niners like really good, and that's the reason.
Niners also shot themselves down with losing Ayuk and Debo going out in the first quarter. Let's be real.
Listen, if you're going to take a pass rush juggernaut team against Giants, I think I'll take that one in the probable 10 sacks they'll have in that game.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got Unk. Should I start CJ Stroud or Tua this week? Stroud plays the Colts, and then Tua plays at home against the Cardinals if they activate him. They did open up the window this week, so he has to at least register a full practice at some point this week to be cleared from concussion protocol.
Wow.
I still say Stroud. You don't know it.
Yeah, I would still stay Stroud, dude.
Stroud plays really good games against the Colts. It's just like it's so strange.
Regardless, like, you really trust a guy who probably should no longer be playing football to come in off his another bad concussion and play?
Hasn't done a full practice yet. It's Wednesday. Like, I don't know, man.
Even if he plays, like, I'm assuming
he's playing this week.
But I'd rather take the dude that's been playing
I hear you, and especially only reason I usually actually would go 2 a year. I don't care coming off the injury and everything. I don't care. Only thing is CJ Stroud's coming off it definitely is his career worst performance. I'm thinking CJ Stroud.
Susan B says start 2, Jaden Reed, Josh Jacobs, DJ Moore.
DJ Moore plays really good games against the Commanders. Really good games. Despite who the corners are, he plays really good games. I would start DJ Moore. And then why not Jaden Reed?
I mean, I think Josh Jacobs and Jaden Reed honestly could put up pretty damn similar production, honestly. So Jaden Reed's he's gotten targets and he's had receptions every week, all as well. Not phenomenal, like not the most standout, but he's done it every week. It's been good. It's never been a bad start. Same with Jacobs. I don't think either of those are bad, to be honest.
Nathan, Pat Fryermuth and Juwan Jennings for Tucker Kraft.
With how they're playing, probably.
I don't know. Absolutely not. No.
Fryermuth was great this week, no?
It wasn't great. He was okay. I'm saying no because with Ayuk done for the season, Juwan Jennings instantly becomes like a really, really good receiver. Depends. If your receivers aren't great, then sure, go Tucker Kraft. I would love to know what your receivers look like.
I feel like Juwan Jennings was definitely like a waiver claim that he got, probably like week 3.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, now he's very valuable.
Now he's a lot more valuable.
I mean, the first, what was it? The week, what was it? Debo was out. Yeah,
week 3. Yeah,
he was
45
amazing.
Points. Yeah,
yeah. I'm saying no to that because Fryermuth's been like somewhat consistent the last few weeks. Again, not getting touchdowns, but like fantasy production from a tight end. He's been around like the 8 to 12 range, like in that range. So like that's pretty decent from a tight end. I get Tucker Kraft. I mean, God, that's Will's like go-to guy from last week.
It is.
Again, he's very good. Again, I would love to know what your receivers are. If you're willing to deal a receiver, like you have receivers, then go for it. But Juwan Jennings is like not very valuable.
yeah.
I was thinking about that when I saw it on the side. Is Rodgers going to play?
Yeah, Rodgers going to play.
I think
But I think it depends who's lining up on Christian Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Because Brian Thomas cooked Gonzalez last week. He cooked him. And it had to have been his worst game as a pro. So I'm not saying, that makes Gonzalez like a shit corner.
Playing, guys. Why is this a discussion here?
I agree. I agree. Cooper Kupp's playing. He's going to play targets, man.
I mean, who the hell else is playing receiver for the Rams? Yeah. They're instantly throwing the ball to Cooper Kupp 15 times minimum.
Yeah, that's
he's going to probably walk out with like 11 catches.
Exactly, Cooper Kupp. In this one. What? You were talking about the Devonta Smith that was like 1 point against an awful Giants secondary? I know they throw the ball like 14 times. You don't need to correct me, Jake. I know. It's a Saquon show. You don't have to tell me. I don't care. Did you not see what it looked like with George Pickens finally having a guy actually throwing him 50-50 balls? And Chase Brown's been like a flex play every week. No. For another flex play in Devonta Smith? No. 0. I'm not doing this. Take the homer out of it. Your turn, guys. But no, absolutely not. I'm not doing this.
No, Pickens has genuinely been good. And like I remember after the first 2 weeks, he was good, but like he had 2 gigantic plays get called back like in each week for like holding or something like that, which would have extended his points like even more, like substantially. Like he's performing. I think I don't know. That's a little bit tough.
With Russ on the offense, I think Pickens' value now is like really good.
Yeah, I agree.
I was lean Pickens anyway. Like I'm just like I don't always trust Smith as a go-to fantasy option. He's a good home run or bust kind of guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean George Pickens is the number 1 receiver in Pittsburgh, and Chase Brown's been a flex play every week. For what? Another flex player in Devonta Smith? I 0.0% chance I'm doing.
AJ says start Jaden Reed or Malik Neighbors. I'm just gonna say if Malik Neighbors is starting, you just start him. They throw him the ball. He got 8 targets this past week, and that was half of what he usually gets. They throw him the freaking ball.
I mean-
you know, you have to start Neighbors.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
He's going to get
go
back in the offense.
because
Yeah.
the Eagles rookie corner Quinyon Mitchell is that dude and has been locking people up all year.
And he did a comment to the media about his targets. He's probably going to see more targets. So
Yeah, I don't care that the Steelers shut down the Jets receivers this weekend. I'm starting Malik Neighbors. I think the Steelers are going to kind of go back to their safety blanket and sit in their soft zone. I think Neighbors could have like 8 or 9 catches Monday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the quick slants.
easy, dude.
That's the only thing they're going to get him because they're not going to have time to throw deep.
That's true.
We got. Let's see. I'm going to get these two right here. Trade Achan for Brees. If someone's willing to do it, I think Brees has finally broke through, and now he has like a rhythm going. He's looked really good the last 2 weeks. If that's accepted, I mean, I would go for it. And then we got him. Vikings or Niners defense to start.
I don't think Niners, right? Aren't they? Don't they have a tough
They play
matchup?
the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's iffy. Maybe Vikings play the Rams. You got to play the Vikings, dude.
It's the Brandon Staley Niners defense. It's not the Niners defense the last couple of years.
Also true. That's substantially true. Brandon Staley find a way to fail.
Yep, said it yesterday on
Brandon Staley will always find a way to fail.
yeah, the line I gave in the car ride out to Philly yesterday was
that?
Brandon Staley will never fail to fail.
That's what it was.
He succeeds at failing.
Ethan says Brian Thomas Jr. and Dobbins for Kenneth Walker and Tyreek. I mean,
Brian Thomas is a good a good player. I think you get a lot of value at that.
What was that deal?
it was Brian Thomas Jr. and J.K. Dobbins for Kenneth Walker and Tyreek.
This has to be a keeper league. There's no way that's not a keeper league.
Well,
I would submit that trade right to the commissioner's office. Like,
yeah, that's
Brian Thomas can get you a lot of value, and he's a number 6 on ESPN. Like, he's a really good receiver, and he was definitely a late round gem.
That's why I'm thinking this is a keeper league. Like, someone's trading to get a young receiver and trading away 2 really good fantasy players. Tyreek's now like a top 3 fantasy player with Tua back. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And Kenneth Walker, we just talked about, the touchdown machine. He plays, he's in the end zone. So that has to be a keeper league trade. That's why I'm saying that. Like, this is the last year of a keeper for Tyreek and Kenneth Walker, and he's getting Brian Thomas back. So yeah, if you're not in a really good spot, then yes. Otherwise, like, I'm blown on that trade.
Jim says, after this week, would DeAndre be a fantasy wide receiver 1, 2, or 3, or still a bench player? I mean, he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna play a full workload this week.
I would say he's probably your 3rd this week.
But you know what? I don't think DHop needs to do anything fancy. I think you can give him simple routes and he can get the ball.
Definitely in the end zone. Uh-oh.
I'll say they froze, right? Is it just me?
Yeah, I see that. They're frozen on my screen. Uh-oh. Oh. Something went
black
wrong.
Screen now.
Uh-oh.
Dom's still trying to catch up, it looks like. Well, they're fixing their stuff there. Yeah, I'm playing him as a flex. I'm not playing him as like a guaranteed starter receiver this week, DHop.
Yeah. Let's see. So Unk said Stroud over Tua start this week. Yes, start Stroud over Tua for at least right now until we get the injury report on Friday there. There's semicolon. I know you could see my chats. Yes, there's no chats in here from whatever you're sending, so I don't see anything in here, man. Idzik, start McBride or David Njoku?
McBride. Yeah, he gets the looks from Kyler. I'm going McBride, and I still have zero idea what Njoku's going to be. He's another trade deadline target, apparently.
I think he would be go at Jameis, despite him being, Jameis. I don't
again, if you're looking for a boom play, then sure. If I'm looking for safety, I'm going McBride.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's the way I like
100%.
looking at fantasy. Like if I'm going into a week and I know I'm like, whoop, I'm kind of in need of like desperate help. I'm gonna go with a guy like Njoku here for boom or bust. But like, otherwise, if I'm like in a close game, I'm taking Trey McBride to play it safe. I have no idea what the lobster man or the crab leg man is gonna do.
Let's see. We got Reed, Devontae Adams for DJ Moore.
I'm not doing that at all. I'm keeping Devontae Adams.
Well,
I would trade him
Yeah.
for Moore.
No,
I would rather more. I feel like because
I think the Bears finally figured out the offense because for some
Even
reason
before.
the for some reason the offensive coordinator is like, oh, you're not going out with the script of plays. I'm just gonna tell you the plays when you're in the huddle. That's not how you do the league. You get a script, you go down the field, you do that, you score, you do all that stuff.
That's not how the league works.
He's still talking shit to the Browns fans in like 20 rows behind the Eagles bench.
That was Eagles fans he was talking shit to.
It was probably like some like 12-year-old.
I'm not trading Devontae Adams. I'm not, at least.
I just traded for Devontae Adams last week, so
Yeah, so I'm not trading. I'm trading for him.
worked out
I'm
really
not
well for
trading
you.
him
Will.
away.
Really great week.
hey, I still won, so I'm okay. 6-1 this year. I'm pretty okay. And then we got Nick. Can you answer my questions? If you ask a question, we can answer it. I mean,
I haven't seen it.
here we go. This is a question for Dom. Trade Wandale and Singletary for David Montgomery.
Yes.
What? Where do I sign the papers?
Yeah.
What?
Immediate. Yes.
Yeah, and into your office.
Yeah. Right now. MF or right
Wherever
now.
your commissioner's office is, just FedEx overnight that trade to him. Be like, hey,
Run
if he has a
through an
fax
MF.
machine, fax it to him. I mean,
We also got this dude. Is what it is, by the way. We didn't even say his name before. That's kind of funny. Garrett
Yeah.
Wilson, David Montgomery flex.
I would start Montgomery at the flex.
I love me some Montgomery.
Yeah, always.
I mean, he had his
Down
worst
to-
week this year in fantasy,
He was
despite
hurt.
him. Yeah.
And he came back in.
Yeah, Campbell said it's only a bruise, so it's a bad bruise. But at least I thought, Fox played the noise. I'm like, there goes my RB2 in fantasy. I'm going to start crying. Then he came back and it was that light, and I was like, oh my God, there he is.
IZKFLX, that's the name. Said start Dowdle or Dobbins. I would say Dobbins.
Yeah, I say Dobbins. I mean, look at what Javonte Williams did last week. Javonte Williams looked really good against the Saints line, so I think Dobbins can honestly repeat the same.
Right after you and I told hundreds of people right before that game to not start Javonte. So that was good on us.
That's amazing.
I unfortunately had to start him in the league. I only had Brees.
Me
I had
too.
Brees, Javonte, and Bucky Irving. I don't have any other plays at running back. So him going off, I mean, they were also asking us, oh, do you start Bub Means? And I'm like, I was like, good thing I knew he was a Saint. And I'm like, if you're down to that, I think you just have to pack it in for the season. Just delete the apps and just, call it a quits. Let's see. Key and Souls, Baker or Murray as a start? I would say Kyler. Baker without Mike Evans is god awful. 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. When Mike Evans on the field, it's like 38 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
You don't want to trust Sterling Shepard, wide receiver 1.
No, you don't. You do not. Jim said
It's actually Jalen McMillan. Excuse you. It's
Oh.
Jalen McMillan as
The
wide
speed
receiver 1
demon.
up there. Excuse you. Yeah, and I think Arizona plays Miami, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Kyler all day.
Jim says Kupp or Montgomery for flex. The tougher question.
If
That is
Kupp
a tough
plays, I think it's Cooper Kupp.
I think
The
so
Cup's
too.
playing.
If
He's off
it's a
the
bench
injury
start
report.
league,
He's going in.
It's Cooper Kupp. Yeah, there's no.
Yeah, if it's a PPR league, I mean, you're already talking about like 10 points from receptions.
Yeah.
You're talking about like,
I was gonna make a joke. You get 15 points of his no yards.
yeah, I mean, so you have to whenever it's PPR and it's Kupp, it's like a guarantee.
The Nick says, "Can you see this chat?"
Yes.
Yeah, we see it. You gotta drop your
I haven't
question.
seen your question yet. I don't.
Everyone comes in here and asking, "Oh, I asked this question." I go back through these chats. There's no questions that come through, so it's like
Liar.
there's like I would see them, but I don't see anything. Logan.
Logan said, "Would you do Mooney or Madison for DJ Moore?" Well, I mean, like, yeah. If you're getting DJ Moore, 100%. That's value not close. You want DJ Moore, if that's gonna work, make that happen.
Gabriel, would you do Marvin Harrison and Bucky for Kupp? I like Bucky. I think he's going to get a large. I think he's going to get a larger role, like come like the end of the season.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You could probably do Marvin Harrison for Kupp, maybe like 1-for-1.
I wouldn't even do that.
No. Well, yeah. I mean, I would do that, but
I wouldn't, because of Cooper Kupp, we were just talking about it earlier. Like, if he gets dealt to Pittsburgh, his production is not nearly as good. Like, anywhere he goes, it's not the same as the Rams. So, no, I'd rather keep Maserati Marv.
Oh, Nick came out with the question, which is kind of an insane question. He says Tyreek Hill for Malik Neighbors.
With Tua coming back, I would not. Tyreek Hill is just going to like get back into an elite, the best fantasy receivers total.
Yeah, you were to ask me 5 weeks ago, then yeah.
Yeah, sell the
it's
ship.
Too late now. It's too late now.
That's my regret. I wish I sold Neighbors in another league just so I can like stockpile some like other assets.
You know,
I mean, I also have Neighbors.
I have him in like one league, and people won't stop asking about Malik Neighbors. I'm like, he is not for sale. Unless you're blowing my socks off, not for sale.
If I need these players to start playing well, I just go on ESPN and I say, "Yep, I'm gonna trade them," and it's gonna get the fire under their ass, and they start producing. That's what I did for Draisaitl. Draisaitl started scoring after that, so I'm pretty proud of myself.
They get scared of Will's ab drop. Clearly.
Chase, Bigsby or Diggs flex, because CJ is coming off a bad game with Diggs, and Bigsby has been promising. I think it depends if Etienne's going to play. I know he's week to week. He plays the Packers, and the Packers have a really good front. Packers have probably a top 10 front right now, and it's really weird for the Packers to have a good defense now. So I would keep Diggs.
Isaiah says Dobbins or Debo at flex.
If Debo plays, I mean, pneumonia is a weird thing, so
I don't know if Debo will play. So that
pneumonia is weird to like come off of, and he had fluid in his like lungs, so it's kind of like weird. I would lock in Dobbins for a flex.
100%.
Then we got Mark. Trade Amari Cooper and James Cook for DJ Moore and Pollard.
I don't dislike that. Honestly, I feel like James Cook hasn't been what he was in the first 4 weeks of the season. Amari Cooper, just new place. I don't know how. I mean, yeah, he scored a touchdown, but I feel like DJ Moore's upside is definitely there. He gets a lot of targets. The connection's getting better and better. And Pollard's not bad. I mean, like, hasn't been bad. I don't know. I don't dislike that trade. If you made that trade, I'd be like, yeah, all right, cool. That's not bad.
Then my fiance comes into the chat. You think I could make my own fantasy team and end your reign? Travis Kelce.
You already got a ring this year.
Travis Kelce's going number 1 off the board, and it's just game over from there. If she played fantasy like 2-3 years ago when Kelce was like a menace in the first round, like absolutely.
She won a ring this season already. So there you go.
By the way, I don't think you mentioned it in the injury report. Did you see, and I only say injury report because it's not an injury, but they listed it as like an injury report thing. The Brandon Aubrey stuff?
What?
Brandon Aubrey is not practicing, and he may not play this weekend for the Cowboys kicking. He's on jury duty. There's no timetable when the case is going to close. How great would that be if he doesn't kick? Oh God!
Thank God. No. The person I play this week, we readjusted the kicking in the league, so like every yard of a kick is 0.1 points. So
okay,
and I play the
and I in your leagues.
No, it's interesting. It's really interesting. Now kickers get like 21 points. They're really outscoring tight ends. But oh my God, now I play the guy that might not have Aubrey, and he's gonna have to play the Bucks kicker. Thank God, it's the battle of 601s. It decides the 1 seed essentially.
I don't know if I've ever seen that before. I don't know if I've ever seen a jury duty injury report before like that.
Yes. Yep.
That is.
I know there's
12
weird
jersey for a felony case, and
does it
there's
tell you the state. Is it in Dallas or is it like? It would have to be wherever he's from, right? Like
it's in Tarrant County. So I'm assuming that's Texas. Like, there's no way it's not Texas.
Isn't he Australian?
How did he knock it out of it?
Isn't he Australian too? Like,
he's also, if he's a United States citizen, well, it does not matter. It is when duty calls, my man. He's an American just like you and me. By the way, how the hell has this not happened to anyone else? Like, why is this the first time I've ever heard of this with like a football player?
Yeah, but like, how does
there's no way in hell. Let's be real. If Mahomes somehow magically got called for jury duty, his ass is not in jury duty, but somehow a kicker is somehow involved in jury duty. That's the bigger story.
You know, I did see that, and I just ignored it because I was like, "Oh, I guess it's just like a thing," or I thought it was a joke or something. So I just kind of scrolled past it. Now that I see who, like, the one person that tweeted the photo of it,
it's real, Will. It's real as it gets.
Man, this is weird. As like, it's like as weird as like Aaron Rodgers when he had to like miss a game because of like he said he was immunized and then he wasn't, and they had to like, "Oh yeah, hey, you can't play this week." That goes up there with like weirdness in fantasy football.
Oh, easily. Well, not fantasy in football. Period.
Oh no, like fantasy. It's like, wow, like I got this guy. He's gonna have a good week, and it's like obscure. Well, yeah. It's like the Broncos players where they're all in the same room. They put their little COVID trackers to the side, and they all couldn't play. Like that ranks up there. That's a. I mean, it's not funny, but you know, it's funny. That's a funny injury report. We're gonna get. I don't know. Let's get a couple more here. Callan. I don't know. Pick 2. Callan? Bowers, Chubb, or Njoku. Bowers is a must start. I don't know. I have to see more from Chubb. I don't think he's going to get that big workload like that he's used to. So I would have to say Njoku. I don't like it, but
I don't know. I feel like Chubb will have a better week.
He had 10 points. I know they're going to slowly get him back into, you know, his 20 carry, 25 carry range. I think he only had like 10 last week.
Yeah, 4 of them were on the goal line, like back to back. But Jason said trade Jaden Reed for DJ Moore and White. I assume that means Rashad White. I think Jaden Reed for DJ Moore is good enough right there. And you just happen to be getting a running back with it. Maybe not the best at the moment, but like, okay. I think straight up DJ Moore for Jaden Reed is good enough. So, yeah.
And I got this one. Start Najee or B-Rob? Colin, is Najee back?
Yeah.
Najee's been great the last 2 weeks. Giants front's very good. That's the only thing that's throwing me off. But the same token, Saquon did just take a leak on them. So, I don't know. Brian Robinson. Who does Washington play again this week?
Bears.
I would probably go to say Najee Harris. I know they're going to force the ball with Brian Robinson. Like, I also think the Bears are going to sell out on stopping it if Mariota's playing.
All right. I think we're good here, gentlemen.
Got one more here from Steven. Bateman, McMillan, Wicks, or Dunze?
How many am I starting?
I would say. Why don't we say we start 2 here?
McMillan might be a start.
Yeah, McMillan and Bateman are the 2 that stick out to me.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Start 1.
Ooh.
I think McMillan, they're going to give him a lot of like sweeper things and like let him go do crossers and all that stuff.
I mean, Baker will get the ball to him.
It might be McMillan, honestly, dude.
Yeah.
Like, again, Bateman's been very good the last 3 weeks. So if you want safety, Bateman, you're kind of looking to play spicy, then you go McMillan, I think.
Here we go. Game of the week. What was your favorite games from week 7? I can't
Mine
believe
was
we're already
easily
like
the
halfway
Steelers.
through.
I don't care.
Piss
It
off.
wasn't an amazing game to watch. Like the fact that the Steelers put up 37, I head over heels, and it wasn't a defensive touchdown in there. Give me the Steelers game. Oh my god, I couldn't believe it. I was watching.
The real
it.
answer.
I'm falsely getting back involved in this hoax of the Steelers.
You were selling it, and they're like, "Nope, we're yanking you back in." They got the hook. and they just yanked you
I'm
right
not
back
all
in.
in yet. Where I'm like, oh wait, I'm delusional. I'm not there yet, but I'm like very much invested. Jake, what were you gonna say?
The real answer is that NFC North battle that just took place in Detroit or against Minnesota.
Yeah. Yeah.
As much as I would love to say Saquon embarrassing Daniel Jones, it would be has to be what makes Detroit look like a real contender against a good team.
You didn't have to be a dick. You didn't have to be a dick saint.
Always have to be. Listen, I don't like the Cowboys. I hate the Giants.
Some respect for the Cowboys, but the Giants, yeah, go back up your I-95 with your fucking gabagool or whatever the fuck you eat.
Piss off, you fake fans. You get to pick between the Jets and Giants, and you all pick the Giants because you're front runners.
Yeah, I'll pick the Ravens and the Bucks, which was really entertaining. I thought, oh, maybe the Bucks might have the Ravens number in like the first quarter. They were absolutely just slacking Lamar, and then Lamar goes in and just does Lamar things. Another 5 passing touchdown performance, 5 or fewer completions. He has more than, I don't know, Drew Brees and Peyton Manning, Tom Brady. Yeah, so I'll give them a lot of credit there. So, Dom, do you have one, or was yours already
I
said?
mean, the Detroit one, there's a lot of games this week I didn't like. That were
There were a lot of like meh games. The 4 o'clock hour was kind of meh.
Super mid week in football. Yeah, I mean, like the Detroit Minnesota one is the easy one, and I mean it's the right answer. So straight up.
Here we go. One of our favorite portions here. Buy, sell, and hold for week number 8. Gentlemen, where are we going with our big buys?
All right. I held
Apparently,
them last
these
week.
are triple, quadruple down to buys, according to Dom in the pre-show, which totally may or may not have been said, and I might be gaslighting here.
I think you're gaslighting. I don't remember.
Yeah, what are you talking about? I'm just gonna go first. I'm gonna buy Seattle. I held them last week. They won. I'm gonna buy them. All as well. It was a good game. Kenneth Walker scores all the time. All as well. Seattle buying it because it's honestly pretty good. They win good games, beat teams, always compete. So at this point in time in the year, buying.
Mm-hmm.
So I've said it a couple times, but I am buying the Lions as a legit Super Bowl contender and probably the favorite in the NFC.
Hell yeah.
Where are we going, Colton?
Ooh, where am I buying? I guess I'll hop
there's
on
a
the
so low hanging fruit I think you could buy right now.
I know where you're going. I'm not going there. I'm going to buy what Jake just bought. Give me the Lions. Again, we all feel this team. What was this team going to be without Hutchinson? Again, I don't think Detroit's going anywhere. So give me the Lions.
Let's see. I'm going to buy into Danger Russ, spicy chicken sandwich or whatever the fuck he sells at Subway. So I'll buy into that. Dom's favorite fast food or fast casual dining experience. Brian Thomas, I'll also buy into 500 something yards this year. He's like 7th or something already. So I'll buy into that. He's really good. And then I've been buying college the last couple weeks. The Terrapins. Fuck USC. We took them down. Yeah. I'm happy. Billy Edwards. So Billy the Kid with the greatest victory celebration with him and Hemby doing an aerial alley-oop dunk. So yeah, those are.
I'm amazed because you've verbally bought into Brian Thomas Jr. like 6 weeks in a row now. So
I haven't. I talk about him. I
That's what I mean,
never
like,
officially
slowly.
bought into him.
It's now official though.
It's official, yeah. Changing my Facebook status. Where are we selling, guys? Where are we looking at and just, jumping ship? Because, midway through the season's kind of a big
Hey,
tell.
since you seem to write on mine, what was my hold last week?
I don't think you held last week. I don't have it written down.
All right. Well, I don't think I've sold on the Giants. I'm selling there. They're just. I thought this team was competitive. Like they should have beat Dallas. If they have a kicker, they beat Washington. But then I watched it; they just performed against the Eagles. And I'm like, oh, no. Those were all frauds, and this team sucks. So selling on the Giants that are going to magically win now Monday night against the Steelers. So just since I just did that, but I'm selling on the Giants.
I have to. This guy just pisses me off. I don't like this individual. I'm coming out spicy today. Todd Bowles, you sir are a bad coach. The Eagles have extended your lifespan in Tampa because you don't know how to coach either. Going man-to-man, 6-man blitzes is not a strategy. I've said it before, and John Harbaugh has exposed him, especially on that green touchdown to Hill. Why doesn't every team just screen the hell out of them? They call man-to-man blitzes were just with 6 men, all linebackers blitzing. They had their entire O-line ready to block the 2 corners that could defend it. You, sir, are bad. I can't stay when anyone talk positive about Todd Bowles. I can't.
I'm gonna sell the Giants. I held them last week. I don't know why I haven't. Well, I know why I haven't sold them yet. I did hold them last week, and now seems like better time than any to sell the Giants after they got a little embarrassed this past week.
A little,
just a lot.
they got
and,
shellacked. It's not a little. They got absolutely they got bent over.
So I'm going for it. I'm just selling it. I was holding it for a little bit. I think I know I held them recently, so done deal. Gone. We're over.
I would sell on the Giants, but I sold them week 1, so I jumped the curb already. I don't have any football sells, but I'm going to sell this weather that's going on out here in New Jersey. It absolutely sucks. It's like abnormally hot. I do not
Who
like
are
it.
you?
It's too hot. No,
It's too hot. I like to sleep. It also hasn't rained here in a month. Has anyone not realized that?
Good.
It's a
We're good.
drought.
It rained every
We're in a
other day
drought.
for the rest of the year. No rain. All is well. It's warm.
I think that had to be done. That had to
And
be
I'm
done.
selling on my headphones. They busted like a can of biscuits, and I love these things. I have another pair up there ready to be used, but
Did you buy the same pair over?
Yeah, y'all
because
ever have those like pair of headphones that you just like really loved, and then they just break, and you're just like depressed over it?
This is my second pair of these exact headphones. The other ones went.
Yo, did this guy just complain about the weather? That's been great. Dude, I hope it just rains above your household. And like everywhere you go, it's just like a falling cloud of just pouring rain.
it's too hot.
Dude, you suck. Come on, Will. This weather sucks. You suck. How about that, Will? This weather's been great.
Goddamn hot. Give me like 50 degrees and sunny. I'll be okay with it. I don't need 75 and sunny.
75 is like the perfect temperature. Oh.
Not in October, like in like the end of May. Sure, 75 is beautiful. Not October. Nah.
It's fall.
No,
Get with the program.
Will, you got to take a hike. And you, Jake.
I'm gonna go kick rocks here. I'll kick rocks after we do our holds. What are our holds here, gentlemen?
I'm holding on the guy you bought. I'm holding on Danger Russ. So,
Sure?
I'm not going to buy in after
Spicy
one
sandwich.
game. Yeah, I mean, Permanis also has like a Russell Wilson sandwich. So again, I'm going to hold on Russell Wilson. Let's see him do it again. So I'm going to hold on to Russ. By the way, I didn't buy. I usually shit on the guy every chance I get. Again, and I got to shit on. I've been talking so much this episode. Mike Tomlin. I usually crap on the dude. Stood on his own, the lone soldier this week. Everyone wanted to start Justin Fields. He stuck with his guns, started Russell Wilson, and worked out for him. Shout out to Mike Tomlin.
I'll do my hold. Mark Andrews? Is he back? Is he alive? I've been holding on to him for fantasy, and I just been, seeing Charlie Kolar of all people just getting all the fantasy volume for the Ravens tight end. So I think Mark Andrews might be back. Who knows? I'll hold on to him.
I'm gonna hold. So I've been in a trend where I every week give a team basically a chance before I sell off on them, because I've done it now for like 3 or 4 weeks, and usually they fall flat on their face that week. So for the interest of everything that everyone cares about or is hoping for, I'm gonna hold the Jets in the interest that if they fall on their face this week, I'm done and I'm selling them. Sorry, Will. But if you
Don't blame you.
have done it this past week and you can't be doing it this next week, I'm over it. It's over for me. So JETS suck.
Suck.
That's
Yep.
where we're at. Maybe not. Maybe buy or sell.
JETSJOKE. Yep. Where are you going, Jake?
The team that pisses me off, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, because I held them. What are you? They start playing good teams. They look less good, and then they still did their thing. I bought them, and then they just get obliterated and their team's dead. So what are they with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin?
And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, week 8 picks. We're on here. Let me scroll up here. And bada boom. Here we go. Let's open up. I don't even have the doc opened up. That's not good.
Nice.
I got to do this really quick. I'm going to open up a tab that opens up on TikTok. So quick second. You see that there. Let's open up the doc. And here we go. Let's scroll all the way down to the bottom of this doc here. 16 games this week. A lot of games. 5 in the 5 o'clock hour, 8 in the early window. A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, no.
I now have another sell.
It's the
Why are week 4 buys a thing if we're in week 8 we have no buys?
I will never understand this. I will never.
I think that's been a trend every year. Like week 8 just doesn't have buys, especially with the whole schedule. Because I don't know. I guess it's like the midway point or something like that.
That's like the point of a buy.
That's the point.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
What are we doing?
Yeah, whatever.
All right, but here we go. We're going to go right into this here. Oh, let's do this. Our first matchup in SoFi Stadium, the Vikings. Kevin O'Connell returns to the place that he won a Super Bowl with the Rams. Clean sweep of Minnesota. I don't know if I'm surprised or not, but it's a sweep.
I don't care if Kupp's playing. The Vikings are some of the best defense in the league, and they're good. So
for me to take the Rams, I have Nakua and Kupp.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no.
I agree.
Then we go into the 1 o'clock hour where the Eagles travel to Cincinnati, and Dom, you're pickless here.
Bro, I don't
here
know.
He goes.
This one's tough. You know what? For the interest of content, that's what I'll do.
2-2. Dom and Will pick the Bengals, and Colton and Jake take the Birds. Going from one side of Ohio to the other side of Ohio, if anyone ever tries to drive that, the Ravens travel and face the Browns, and we're all taking the Browns. No, Browns. Oh, no, we're taking the Ravens. My bad. We're going to move on. The Titans travel to Detroit, and we're all taking the Lions, which, no surprise, Titans are just, I don't know what's going on there. Shador, Milrow, I don't know. Cam Ward, is that a guy from the U?
I don't really even see who Detroit's plays each week. I'm just writing them in.
Yeah, it's kind of true, to be honest.
I'm going to write, oh, no, they already had their bye week. I was going to be like, oh, yeah, bye week. Yep, Detroit. Filling it on the dock. Colts travel to Houston to play the Texans. Ooh, excuse me. We're all taking the Texans here. No surprise there. And then Green Bay travels to Jacksonville, who, I don't know, I'm pretty surprised they didn't have a bye after their London trip because they were there for 2 weeks. So, yeah, they take the Jaguars, and we're picking the Packers. Clean sweep. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Then we got Arizona, who's going to travel to Miami with a potential maybe Tua plays on Sunday. Dom and Jake are picking the Cardinals, and Colton and I are taking the Dolphins.
I'm okay with this.
Yeah. Then we go New England, the Jets, the rematch. Dom, lone wolfing here. Drake May, will he get his first win as a starter?
I wrote the Jets in at first, and I was like, Drake May, that's right. And then so I was like, oh, what? Screw it, whatever. I'll just go with that. The Jets have not been. The Patriots might have played better than Jets in the past 2 weeks. So
I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots win because the Jets defense ever since Salah got fired has been abysmal. It's been a bottom 5 unit.
Yeah, and this is at home for the Patriots, and they usually play pretty decent in Gillette. So screw it. You know what, Drake May. I'll put the chips in on them.
Would love to do it, but can't.
I don't blame you.
Can't.
I don't blame you.
Then we got the rematch of a really good Thursday Night Football matchup a couple weeks ago. The Falcons now traveled to Tampa Bay and faced the Buccaneers. And Colton, you are the lone wolf of this game with the Buccaneers.
Yeah, dude. I got to tell you, I should have held Atlanta. I don't know what the hell the Falcons are. What are they? I don't want to go on anymore. Like, the episode's been long. Like, what the? Yeah, I'm riding Baker because that's it. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. I just had zero idea what the hell is going on in the NFL. Just ride with Baker. That's short and simple.
Then we got the Saints at the Chargers. We're picking the Chargers here. I don't really want to talk about Desmond Ridder. Let's talk about the matchup in the Northwest. The Bills and the Seahawks here. Colton, again, lone wolfing Bills Mafia.
I know Seattle shocked you guys this week, and myself included. Dude, Josh Allen hasn't turned the ball over. From the turnover machine, he's got 0 turnovers. He's got 0 interceptions. Amari Cooper another weekend. Yeah, give me the Bills. Thanks for the game, gents.
I don't know if Seattle was shocking. I just
Seattle.
bought them, so I'm good with Seattle.
All right, that's fine. Again, I thought Atlanta was like the darling. You guys have quickly turned on Atlanta from slurping Atlanta dry last year with Desmond Ridder to now Atlanta has Kirk Cousins, and no one's talking Atlanta anymore. It's crazy how you three work. It's incredible.
It's not.
Couldn't shut up about Atlanta.
Don't be looping me into this, okay?
Nah, you're looped in.
No, you were the initial. Don't even start with this
I
stuff.
could pull up a text from Dom where it's like, oh, I got Colton on this whole train about Jake and the Falcons, and I'm completely off the hook. I did it correctly.
Yeah,
I could find that.
Yo,
Will initiated.
Wow,
the
Dom,
Falcons
text
talk.
behind my back, huh, Dom? All right, Dom. All right. I'm gonna
you
hook
got
you up
initiated?
into something.
Oh. But either way, I was the scapegoat.
You
for
three
Atlanta.
fools started on Atlanta all last year when they sucked and the quarterback
It's not
sucked.
fun when everyone else on the bandwagon. It's
Yeah.
only fun when it gets people going.
Yeah, it gets.
Yeah, it wasn't going 20 minutes too long.
We're gonna move forward here. Bryce Young gets the start under center for the first time since week 2 this season. Faced the Broncos, and Broncos country. Let's ride. Chiefs and Raiders, a really interesting matchup here. We're taking the Chiefs. And now we got a good 4:00 hour game here. The Bears and the Commanders.
Shut up, Will. Interesting. Oh my gosh, dude. This guy's got to lose his responsibility here at some point, right?
I remember what they did last year with Aiden O'Connell. I'm like, oh, man. Now I remember it's Gardner Minshew. I'm like, yep, let's just get this out of the way. But yes, Caleb Williams, the number 1 overall pick. Maybe Jaden Daniels will play on Sunday, who's the number 2 overall pick. We don't see that very often where the 1-2 pick plays against each other, let alone a quarterback matchup. Last time I think it was Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence, but who cares about that one? The time before that was Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston, where famous Jameis threw a pick 6 on his very first play, a touchdown, which is, highly regarded in this league.
By the way, if Jaden Daniels, I know they don't know and you can't flex it this late. Why the hell wasn't this a flex game?
It is.
I've seen enough of the Niners.
I don't think
enough
CBS
of
wanted
Dallas.
to give up this game. I don't think they wanted to give up this game.
Oh, then that makes sense. I was gonna say, I'm not. Why is this not the primetime game?
They flex
actually two legitimate quarterbacks like that have actually got the hype. The hype around these two quarterbacks like is actually legitimate.
No,
Why the hell is this not the primetime
Colton.
game?
They flexed Bengals Eagles out of this spot for this game.
No.
Yes.
Oh, I was thinking of next week's game where they
I thought
flex
that
the
was next
Jags
week.
and the Eagles.
No, they flexed us twice.
Kind of whack.
Well,
But
then
yes.
never mind. I don't disagree with them holding on to this game.
Yeah, so Colton and I are taking Chicago. Well, Colton's holding on right now, and then Dom and Jake are picking the Commanders, the Commies.
Yeah.
Taking them.
The Salamanders.
The Salamanders.
Commodores.
The Sunday Night Football matchup. Cowboys at Niners here. Jake, you are pickless here.
I don't know.
Did Brandon Aubrey really mess up this pick for you? And jury duty?
Low key though.
No, I think it's that the only healthy receiver is a guy that got shot a month ago.
Well, that's also true.
2 months, but yes, who's counting? That's hilarious.
Just give me the Niners. I don't love it.
I'm lone wolf from the Cowboys. I mean, Cowboys play good on the road. They just can't play in Jerry World for 2024. So, yeah. Now we got Sunday Night Football here. Giants at Blitzburg. Steelers sweep. Any surprise? Nah.
We don't take the
not
Giants
really.
right here.
We don't. We really don't like the Giants around here.
Ladies and
like
gentlemen, that
I
rounds out our show. Follow us on all the social media platforms down below. TikTok for the Fan Network, X for the Fan _, Instagram for the Fan Football, and YouTube for the Fan Network. We'll be live on Thursday night before Thursday Night Football. Talk fantasy questions. Yeah, pretty big show always Thursday. Last week was a big one, right, Dom?
Last week was kind of nuts. Not gonna lie, it's pretty hardcore. We peaked at like 347 viewers.
Yeah. Like
That was crazy.
347 or 372. I don't know. It was a high number.
Yeah, me and Will were watching it
It
skyrocket.
was like Wall Street.
Like 50 people at a time, all the way up to like 372, and we hit that a couple of times. It was pretty wild.
It was me watching NVIDIA that one day where it was just going up by the thousands for me, and I was just like drooling from the mouth. I was like, oh my God.
Probably sold in deficit. It's okay.
No. I did cash out at a
Wow.
3,000% profit, so
Okay.
we were good on that one. Stonks.
Was
yes.
a stock, bro.
I am a stock bro, and you guys are all
Only
bros
because
too.
the NFL doesn't let him bet anymore.
Yeah, he's gonna do something.
But yes, I'm Will. That's Colin. That's Jake, and that's Dom, and we are For the Fan. Every Wednesday we're live with a regular football show. Thursday, fantasy football. So yeah, everyone enjoy the week. Come back in on TikTok exclusively for fantasy football questions. So everyone, peace out, have fun, and go team.